I'm Adam Pennell, Shropshire Lad, and today I'm going to show you how I made these pork belly banh mi's. They're completely Vietnamese inspired, using totally British seasonal ingredients, including a whole load of foraged herbs taken from the wild by my friend Leah. Just look at those. Let's get on it. So we're going to go for a low and slow style cook, which is probably not traditional, but we're going to use the meter to make sure that we get really soft, delicious, melt in the mouth pork. But the twist on this is that we're going to use seasonal root vegetables in the pickle. So normally you'd use a mouli, and we're going to replace that with swede, which works really, really well. Great texture, and it's growing right now. It hasn't had to be shipped from the other side of the world. And then we're going to, having seen Leah's amazing chimichurri the other day, I'm going to take some inspiration from what she's done there, and we're going to put a little twist on it and make an Asian style chimmy to go on the top, and I'm going to deep fry some of this pork skin to finish it. I really can't wait. Let's get cracking. Right, so we've got this beautiful piece of pork belly. It's about 1.5 kilos there. It's fairly even all the way through thickness wise. I've had the bones taken out. I'm just going to take that rind off and save it for later. So just with a sharp knife, run in as close to the rind as possible, because I want to leave some of that fat on the actual pork. At this point, I'm going to take our meter. Now, it's always important that we make sure this goes into the thickest part of the cut. So I'm just going to take it out of the docking station. Once it's in, I'll set up the cook on my phone. I'm just going to go diagonally across there, so we get right into the middle of that meat. Now, you're going to need to use my fingers and thumb so I can feel that it's right in the middle, because it's quite a thin slab of meat here, and if we were right on the edge of the meat, then obviously it's going to detect that it's cooked before the centre's cooked. So you can see that's pretty central. Into a bowl, going to go with some ginger, powdered garlic, white pepper, black pepper, which I'm going to grind, good tablespoon of sea salt, and some brown sugar. So we're just going to mix that all together. Just liberally sprinkle that all over the pork and rub it in. Turn it over and do the other side. Might look like a lot of rub, but if you think I'm going to slice this, so you're only going to get a little slither of that rub on each side, on each outer kind of bit of bark. So it's important that we really pack those flavours in. So whilst that sits there, let's get the meter set up. Open up that section and hit set up cook. Cooking pork belly today. So it's a roast. Look down, there's the belly. Okay, and we want it to fall apart, okay? So we're gonna go right up where the meter recommends, between 93 and 98 degrees. And simply hit start cook, make sure your volume's turned up, and we're off. We have the Kamado Joe, so inside I've already got the fire lit, or the charcoal lit. We're gonna need a little bit of smoke in there, so I'm just gonna add a little piece of ash. And then we're gonna drop in the grill with the deflector plate. So this means we're going to be cooking indirect. So we let the smoke start to develop. Once we know that the wood's smouldering and providing that clean smoke, we're going to add our pork. We've got this beautiful blue smoke coming out now. I've just shut the vents down because I want to hold the temperature somewhere between 125 and 150 C. Just going to open up the grill, and we're just going to place this right across the middle and keep an eye on it from my phone. Happy days. Right, one of the hardest things about replicating banh mi in the UK is getting the herbs, right? So there's loads of amazing fragrant herbs that they use over in Vietnam, almost impossible to get here. But we have our own herbs, and this is my friend Leah, who's a forager, and she's picked a whole load of stuff. Can you talk us through what this is?
Cool. So we've got a bit of sorrel here. This is some common sorrel, which has got that nice tartness to it, so it'll give it like a bit of a lemony tang. We've got some garlic mustard here, also called Jack by the Hedge, which, as the name suggests, gives you a bit of garlicky, mustardy flavour. And then we've got some ground ivy here, which, do you want to crush it up and have a little smell? Have you used it a lot?
I don't think I have, you know.
Ivy. It's a member of the mint family, and it's got quite like a sort of dusky, almost like maybe sagey kind of...
Mate.
Yeah, it's good.
There's Vietnam coming back to me right there, honestly.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. So that's a really
wow,
good one.
and it's quite bitter too.
Yeah,
good.
A lot of wild herbs can be quite bitter. And then we've got some like parsley flavour here, which is cow parsley. So this is not one normally for beginners to forage, because it's in quite a dangerous family, which is the carrot family. And we've got two of the most deadly plants in Europe in this family.
Wow.
But the key identification features are that it's got hairs on it here, and we can see that it's got a little groove running down the middle, and that tells me that I know that I've got cow parsley. And then we've got some yarrow here. Do you want to try a bit of that? Have you had that before?
No, I don't think I have. It's quite like, it's almost a little bit earthy. It's quite slightly floral.
Yeah.
It's good.
And then this one here that we've got is a bit of ground elder. So again, this is the same member as the carrot family.
So I saw on your Instagram this week that you made a wild chimichurri with this stuff, right? Which totally inspired what I'm going to do now. So talk us through what's in yours.
So mine is generally the same sort of stuff that we've got here.
Okay.
But then with lots of really good olive oil, a little bit of lemon and some chilli as well.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, and I found that like the combination just works really well. I use it on everything, to be honest. Like it's really versatile as a green sauce that just goes with so much stuff. Right,
I'm just going to pull all these herbs together into a big pile and basically chop them. Fairly rough, man. I like my chimichurri to have, I don't know about you, to have a little bit of texture. Right then, I'm going to get these chopped herbs into a bowl. I'm going to also add in some chili. Now this is a bird eye chili. These are the chilies you're going to find on every single table you sit down to eat in Vietnam. I'm leaving all those seeds in there. Okay, so we're going to go in with about a tablespoon of fish sauce, which is basically Vietnamese salt. Okay, we're going to go in with the Maggi, and then we're going to go in with some sesame oil. I'm going to give it a little pinch of sugar, probably just about a teaspoon of sugar, and then right at the end, just before we serve, we'll get the lime and rice vinegar in there. Right, so the app's saying we've got about an hour to go. We're at 42 degrees, so we're going to have a little look. Look how much smoke that's taken on already. Amazing, looks absolutely beautiful. Right, now I'm going to show you how to make the quick pickles. So as I said before, usually you would use mooli, which is like a white radish. That's not British, it's not seasonal. This Swede is, and it works perfectly. You see the difference a mandolin can bring. Look at that, almost like the fries, okay? Gives loads of good texture. And then we're going to go in with a couple of carrots as well. And then we're just going to add around about 50 grams of sugar, about the same amount of salt, some rice vinegar. And then we're going to top it up with soda water. Not for any reason other than I forgot my flat water. But I'm sure it's going to help for all of that to dissolve. Going to leave them for 30 minutes in that solution, drain it off, and you've got your quick pickles. Looking at the meter now, we've hit an internal temperature of 70°. It's about 50 minutes to go. What I like to do at this point is wrap it, and we use butcher's paper to do that. So I'm just going to take this off of the grill. Look at that. And then we're literally just going to wrap that up like it's fish and chips. And that's just going to hold in some of the moisture whilst it approaches the sort of 95 degrees that we're looking for. And it's going to be perfectly juicy and tender. I talked about not wasting any of this, and I promise you I haven't forgotten about that skin. So whilst we're letting that finish off, I'm just going to put a pan over the heat here and add around about, you want about an inch of oil in the bottom of the pan. You don't want loads of oil, there's no need for loads of oil, but enough that when we drop in these little strips, you're going to deep fry and get super crispy. Drop them in one at a time and just nurse them as they bounce away and become super, super crispy. I'm just going to chop these up nice and fine now so they can just be sprinkled on, just to add that texture and extra porky flavour. You can hear the crunch. Beautiful. Once they're chopped, we're going to add a little bit of that prawn salt that I made a few weeks ago, which is literally deep fried prawn shells with a little bit of lime, a little bit of dehydrated chili, and loads of salt. We've got just over 15 minutes left now on the meter here, hit 87 internal. So what I'm going to do now is unwrap that pork again, and that's just going to sort of allow the outer bark to sort of firm up a little bit and give us a little bit of bite when we slice. Okay, we're good to go, man. Let's get her off. Whilst we're waiting to finish these sandwiches, it's time to add the acidity right at the last minute to this wild chimichurri that we've come up with in collaboration with Leah. So I'm just going to go in with a whole lime's worth of juice, then some rice vinegar, probably about a tablespoon. That's taking it a whole new direction. The acidity is so important in this chimney. Wow, those wild herbs, an absolute life changer. Ready, happy eating. Right, let's do this. I'm gonna get this pickle. I'm gonna load up these sandwiches. You hear that bark on the outside from putting it back on. Super juicy, crazy tender, into really, really naughty little strips, like this. I'm going to take the pork belly into the sandwich. We're going to go in with this wild Asian inspired chimichurri. And then finally, for some extra texture and more porky flavour, we're just going to finish it with that crunchy pork skin with the prawn salt. Right, Leah, you hungry?
It looks amazing.
Yeah?
It's incredible. Can't wait to have a go.
Yeah, have a go on that. There's no graceful way of eating this. I'll let you go first. You have to say that.
No, it's really good.
Yeah? Working?
Really good. That smokiness is really good with the chimichurri.
The pork's so tender. That wrapping process, keeping them, an eye on the time, makes all the difference. Cheers guys, if you enjoyed what you've seen today, then please remember to like, subscribe, drop us a comment, and don't forget to follow Leah as well. What's your Instagram?
Leah.lou.foraging.
Yeah man, she's the girl. Nice one. Peace.